Hello, how's it going? So today is gonna be a talking vlogging. I don't know how long the video is gonna be. Hopefully it won't be too long because I have to go to work, but it's gonna be unedited as well because I have to go to work. So it's gonna be raw, uncut kits today, and I'm gonna be doing a talking vlogging. Let me get my notes out because I have notes for this. So, hold on. I'm really thirsty. Yeah, I just had Coco's curry. I've been really down, especially in the last 24 hours. I was in a pretty dark place, and I decided, in order to just kind of reset myself before work, because it's just me today. Matt and I, our schedules changed, and I'm going in alone today. He went in yesterday. I go in alone today, and then we both go in tomorrow, which really doesn't matter, so I don't know why I'm telling you anyways. So before work, I decided I was going to treat myself, and I needed to like reset my mind. And normally when I get into a place where I'm sad and I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I feel that depression coming on, I usually take myself out to a little nice lunch, and then I journal for a little bit or write down thoughts and ideas and try to like deduce what's going on and see if I can make myself feel better. And most of the time it works. So compared to about 2 hours ago, I am doing so much better mentally because I gave myself that chance to just sit down, reflect, write what I needed to write down. So the next thing is to record it and document it. So so as I said, I've been kind of in a really rough spot mentally, probably about a week now. Yesterday it kind of like really went worse the last 24 hours, and a lot of it started because about a week or two ago now, there was a Japanese actress that took her own life. She committed suicide. And this is probably the 4th or 5th celebrity this year to kill themselves. And she was a really popular actress. I remember seeing her in different dramas and stuff when I was growing up, and it was a really big shock to me. But it really started getting me thinking about, sorry, it's like hot in here, just me and my life, and just because when I hear things like, suicide and all of those things, that really hits home to me, and it affects me deeply when I hear that, because as somebody who's almost tried to do it 3 times when I was a teenager, like, I can't imagine had I succeeded in doing that and like missing out on everything I would have missed out on, the people that I met, the things that I was able to do, the adventures that I was able to go on, you guys, like starting my YouTube channel and stuff. Like, I can't imagine just what I would have missed out on if I had succeeded in that moment. And it affects me so greatly because having been in positions where, I get depressed and sad to a point where, sometimes you feel like it's just possibly worth not even living anymore. Like, I've gotten to that point before, for sure. I understand what that feeling is like, but I also have gotten past that point, and it didn't get better in a year or 2 or 3 or 4, but 5, 6, 7, like it eventually got better, and it got so much better than I could have ever anticipated, to a point where life is so beautiful and so worth it. And I know what it is like to be in those dark moments, to be in that moment where it's like you just don't have the will to go on. And I understand that 100% because I've been there. But I also know what hanging on and pushing past that can also do for you. You're gonna see me do this a lot because it is really, really hard. Anyways, and I don't know, I think combined with that, well, like, one of my biggest goals, and I haven't really talked about that here, but one of my biggest goals for coming back to Japan was I wanted to do something to help people here in Japan, because I know that, especially in Japan, oftentimes people with mental disabilities, physical disabilities, and mental illnesses tend to fall through the cracks of society. It's a very big problem, and which is why, like, you know, suicide rates have shot up, why we have that famous Aokigahara suicide forest, why 4 celebrities decide to end their life in 1 year. Like, it sucks, but it's also not surprising because just of how the society is built and how there's very little resources for people who need help. And being somebody who, like I said, experienced that herself, as well as growing up in a family, especially on my dad's side, who suffered a lot of mental illnesses, like, that is a topic or a subject that I'm extraordinarily passionate about. Those are people that I really, really want to help. And so, you know, I don't know how, I don't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a plan, but one of the things that I want to do is to figure out a way to help these people, whether through a program or something. I have no idea. I don't have anything laid out. But when I heard that she passed away and why she passed away, it really affected me, because I look at where I am in life right now, and there's all these goals and ideas that I want to do and achieve in life, and I feel like I'm nowhere, I'm not getting there fast enough. I know everything takes time, I know everything takes baby steps, but when there's so much you want to do in life, it gets frustrating, or I frustrate myself, basically. There's this quote by Bill Gates who said, wait, I'm opening another one. I already have a drink that's open. There we go. There's a quote by Bill Gates where he said, people overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And I definitely have a tendency to do that. You know, I think of all these things that I want to do, and then, you know, I work on them. I work really hard on them, and then that first year goes by and I'm nowhere close to like where I want to be, and I frustrate myself. But it's because I tend to overestimate what I feel like I could achieve. Even on YouTube, you know, when I first started doing YouTube and the daily videos, you know, I thought to myself, by September, October, by the end of the year, surely I would be past like 1,000, if not more, subscribers, and like I would be in a completely different place. And when you realize at that point that you thought you would be in a completely different place and you find out you're not, it gets, you know, it gets to you. But I know, you know, from having done businesses before, and I should know this, but for some reason I always forget, that these things take time, and these things have to hit this point of what they call like a tipping point. And once you hit that tipping point, things start to move faster and faster and faster. But until you hit that tipping point, that's like the hardest and longest grind, right? And this is the part where I think a lot of people give up on their dreams and even like YouTube aspirations, because they see other people on YouTube who maybe got, you know, big really fast, or just they see YouTubers that are big and they think, oh my god, like it shouldn't take me that long to get to that point. And then it does take a long time. And it's disheartening because you're putting so much of yourself into something and you have this goal of where you want to be and you're not quite there, and then you just end up frustrating yourself. And so in those moments you have to like take a step back and just remember that these things take time, and that's okay. That's why people say in business, you know, you have to enjoy the journey and not necessarily like just focus on the goal. You have to enjoy the journey to reach that goal. And I think in that sense, Bill Gates was right. People tend to overestimate what they can do within a year. But then people underestimate what they can do in 10 years. You know, a lot of people think, oh, you know, when they think of like, I don't know. But I started thinking to myself, I was like, okay, in 10 years, where am I going to be? Like, if I wanted to do all of these things, what can I do within 10 years? And then I thought to myself, in 10 years, I'm going to be 41 years old. 41. I'm going to be 41 in 10 years. Holy shit. Oh my god. Damn. I'm 31 now, and I'm going to be 41 in 10 years. Fuck. I don't know how to process that. But I think to myself, okay, what can I do between 31 and 41? A lot. I can definitely do a lot. So many of the things that I want to do could be achieved within that decade if I just consistently work at it. It's all going to take time, but 10 years is a good chunk of time. And so I needed to take a step back and just kind of like analyze all the things that I want to do, because there's so many things that I want to do, and I was like, okay, it's all in my head and I needed to get it down on paper. And so I did. And I wrote, if money wasn't an issue, what would I do? And I wrote all the things that I want to achieve right now at this point in time. Things might change, I don't know, but this is what I'm passionate about right now. Number one is make a feature-length movie that I wrote. So something that I wrote, because I like to write and I like to make stories. And so I would love an opportunity to make my own feature-length movie from something that I wrote. Totally Wes Anderson it, or James Cameron it. Publish a book, become an author. That has been one of my goals since I was a little girl. Excuse me. I have so many stories that I should actually work on publishing. But eventually, I would like to like be an author. Make documentaries of stories that I think are important to tell. There's a lot of stories that I come across, especially like living in Japan and seeing a lot of like societal things that I would like to talk about and make videos about, of Japan and Japanese culture, and things that I feel like need to be addressed. I would love to make movies about that, just telling people's stories. Because to me, the most fascinating thing in the world, and the thing that I love the most, is people. I love people, and I love people's stories, and I would love to, it would be such an honor to be able to tell those stories from a documentary perspective. So that's something I would like to do. This is a very personal thing. I've always wanted to learn to sing and play piano. So that's something I would like to do. I want to create a charity program in Japan that help people with mental illness and those with physical and mental disabilities. One of the things that, some of the ideas that I have is, combining my passion into these programs. So, maybe creating camps or services or workshops where we, give people an opportunity to write a story and then go through the process of developing it into like a movie or something. And maybe at the end of the course, we do like little premieres and stuff for movies that these people have created, because I think art is one of the most beautiful things, and I think it's a great way to express yourself. So I wanted to like combine something that I'm passionate about and find a way to help people using something I'm passionate about, which is like movies and storytelling and stuff like that. And I wanted to create like a charity program to help not just people with mental illnesses, but even people with physical and mental handicaps. People with like autism and Down syndrome and so many other things. Like I don't know. I just think that would be so much fun. I remember there was a a guy in Santa Cruz, I think it was, who he takes military veterans and people who oftentimes come back from war amputated, and they lost a limb and stuff like that, or just PTSD, and he takes them surfing. And he started doing that because he was a surfer himself, and I think he might have also been in the military, but he takes people surfing, and it's like it gives them a new lease on life. Just like you hear these people talk about it, and this is the thing that like keeps them going, just this community and just like surfing. And there's another one in Florida called Surfers for Autism that one of my favorite YouTubers, Fathering Autism, takes his daughter to, and it's just bringing a bunch of kids who are autistic and teaching them how to surf and just giving them a chance to like ride the waves and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, it all stems from a passion, but I think it's just so cool to be able to share your passion with people who are either mentally or physically incapable of, well, people think that are incapable of doing stuff like that, or like mentally, depressed and hurting, and give them just show them and give them an opportunity at, I don't know, something. I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. Anyway, so that's something I would like to do. And I also want to create or invest in companies that help people, whether, like I said, with mental disabilities or physical disabilities or mental illnesses, but I also want to really focus on the earth and just, renewable energy, all that kind of stuff. I think about myself and my life, and when I get into these moments where I get sad and depressed, oftentimes it's because I feel like I'm not progressing. And one of the things that Tony Robbins once said was that progression equals happiness. Oftentimes when people get depressed is because they're not progressing in their life, or they feel like they're not progressing in their life. And I found that to be 100% true. When I'm unhappy and when I'm depressed, it's because I feel like I'm not progressing. And when that happens, and the reason why I take a step back and do notes like this is because no one is going to give me anything to progress in. Like, I have to figure out for myself what I want to progress in, what I want to put my energy into. Like, no one's going to ever give you a meaning to live but yourself. And I think a lot of people forget that, including myself sometimes. Sometimes you sit there and you kind of wait around for somebody to tell you, okay, this is what you need to do in your life. This is what you're here for. But the reality is, from experience, I found that you give yourself meaning. You decide what you want to do in your life and what you want to achieve and what you want to bring to the table. Essentially, you have to give your own life meaning. And I think I've gotten I still get down and I still get depressed. I'm definitely a lot more prone to it, and I think a lot of it is because of just the environment I grew up on, and like just the habits that I was around with my dad and his mental depression and stuff like that. So I definitely tend to revert back to that sometimes, and I'm much more prone to it. But because over the years, over the last 10 years, I've really worked on myself. I've really worked on my own mental health and my own like depression and just like self-discovery. And through that, when I get into moments where I get really sad and angry and frustrated and depressed, I know now that I know steps that I need to take in order to pull myself out of it. And I've gotten a lot better about that. Like, usually when I'd get depressed before, like even 10-15 years ago, it would take me months and months of just wallowing in my own darkness. But now, like, I will get into those moments and I'll get into a really, really dark headspace, but I can usually pull myself out within like 24 to 48 hours, if not maybe longer, a week. But eventually I know how to pull myself out. And oftentimes what I've said is like, it's usually because I have to reevaluate my meaning in life, like what I am here for, and I have to remind myself what I'm here for, and then I fire myself up and I'm like, all right, let's go. So, yeah. Oh my god, it's so hot. I don't even know. We're 21 minutes into this video. I don't even know if any of you guys are watching this still. I'm just rambling at this point. But I think to myself, what do I want to achieve in the time that I'm on this earth? What do I want to leave behind? And I just want to help people. That's why people like, Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and Richard Branson and people like that who, changed the world, these visionaries who changed the world. I look up to them so much because, they were like, okay, what does the world need? The world needs this. And then they went out and made it. And I don't know if I'll ever be at their caliber. But I want to kind of take that more within myself, to be like, this is what I need to do, or this is what I feel like I need to do, and then just do it. I don't know. But I also have to remember that all of this takes time. People overestimate what they can do in a year, but underestimate what they can do in a decade. And in a decade, I'm going to be 41 years old. That's so crazy. 41! Oh my god. So crazy. Anyways. Thank you for listening to my rambling. There's a lot of things I want to do. And my hope is that I'll be able to do them before, I don't know, my time is up. Whenever that's gonna be. Hopefully not anytime soon, because I have a lot of things I need to do. But I think the more important thing is moving towards those goals. Maybe I may not achieve every single one of them, but at least being on that path will make a difference. So, all right, it's hot and I need to go to work, and I've been rambling for the last 25 minutes. And I'm not going to be editing any of this. This is totally raw, uncut. This is just me and my stream of consciousness. None of it probably makes sense. Oh, I feel that Coco's curry. I'm having indigestion now. but it's so good, guys. I cannot begin to tell you how amazing Coco's curry is. I know Jake doesn't agree with me. I don't know how we're friends. I'm just joking, Jake. Alright, I gotta go. I love you guys. I gotta go to work. But this is Kit, and I don't know. I think at the end of all this, no matter where you guys are, or if you're feeling down on yourself and you know you're not quite sure what to do in your life, take a moment, go treat yourself, take a notebook, write down all the things you want to do. Like Tony Robbins says, progression equals happiness. So oftentimes if you're not happy, then it's probably because you feel like you're not progressing in something. And if that's the case, figure out something that you can put yourself in. Figure out like what you need to do in your life to, I don't know, you know, whatever. I just spent 25 minutes talking about it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right, I gotta go. How many times have I said that now? Dang it, I can't edit any of this. All right, love you guys. Peace. Bye.